Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. This will be a video about project updates and what I've been up to on all the different cars. My phone camera is kind of broken, so I have you on panoramic view, so at least it's not so blurry and grainy and whatnot. So hope you guys can see pretty well. I'm going to keep this video fast and short, kind of like myself. Dun-dun-dun. But we'll start from the front, work our way back. The 96 F250, if you guys are watching, this thing had a bad transmission and burned out clutch back in October. Well, actually back in August. I was able to do the transmission swap, did a clutch, flywheel, rear main seal, a whole bunch of stuff to it. It does run and drive really good now. However, the left front leaf spring's broken, and my Ford Ranger shifter that is way too short. Really sucks trying to drive this thing. You know, none of this stuff's even on there tight or anything like that, but it at least can move now. So this truck is at least drivable. But the left front leaf spring on here is broken. The right front one is like almost to the bump stop as well. So I gotta get leaf springs for this yet and then fix it. The Yukon here, so you can tell it's still up in the air on jack stands. Haven't had a chance to work on it in a while. This thing is getting a transmission as well. Started pulling everything out of it, it's got to be a month ago now at least, and haven't been able to get working on it. The transmission, if you guys want to see it, when I finished the green truck, I took this apart and took the pan off and checked in there, and it all looks pretty good. And I'm going to clean it up. I got a gasket and a new filter and all that stuff for it. Got to finish putting that back together. And then I can finally get back to work on the Yukon after, well, let me do it around here where I can actually get to there. Sorry, got a lot of stuff in the shop here. Got 9 vehicles in here now. This is a buddy of mine's truck I've been working on, doing a lot of work for him. Emissions delete, a lot of maintenance and stuff on here. If you want to see this truck, check out my channel. There's a video of this from last year when I worked on it. Full tour and startup on it. It's a really nice truck, rust free. If anybody wants to buy it, it can be for sale for $10,000 is what he wants for it. If you're interested, message me down below. Don't direct message me because for whatever reason I can't access those messages, so just leave in the comments, and we can, get in touch. Tinted windows, nice wheels, nice tires. Right now it's getting all radiator hoses. It has a tow package, so it has the oil cooler upgraded, oil cooler on the side, so it's getting the other hose that goes on there. It's getting a thermostat, obviously new coolant, full emissions delete, EGR block off and all that stuff. Brakes, rotate the tires, probably an oil change. Just got key fobs for it to put on here or in here, so it's got keyless entry. Fully loaded truck, has every option for this year except power seats. So I got to get this done first, then transition back to that. Then I'll probably go back to this and do leaf springs, but that's for that. Brown truck, this engine is basically fried. It does run, it does drive, just very, very badly. Last time I drove it, the thing was just pouring diesel and oil everywhere. Has this engine shot. Again, if you want to see more videos, check out my channel in the history, and you can see more about it. But it's a 93 F250, 7.3 IDI turbo, 5-speed, 2-wheel drive, Texas truck. Not much rust on it. I did originally have these tires on the back of this because at the time when I did that, this truck was down, so I was using this truck. But it has an issue where before I even did the fuel return line kit on here, it was pushing diesel back up through 2 of the injectors through the fuel lines. So I thought it was just a bad O-ring kit, so I replaced that. Same problem. I have a motor in my garage. I'm currently, well, not currently, but 2 years ago I was rebuilding it and just kind of stopped halfway. Back burner project, lots to do. You can see his wheel wells back here are nice and clean. This one here, you can see, is getting some rust in there I got to fix yet. The 3 valve here kind of at my wit's end with this car. Found a custom body shop and they turned it down because of the frame damage to it. So what we're going to end up doing is just buying a different car, just flat out. Found a couple of V6 ones that were in really nice shape, loaded premiums. So we're thinking on just grabbing one of those, yank out the drivetrain out of this and all the go fast parts off of it. Throw some tires on the rims and put that on there, and then just keep this as a parts car or try and fix it ourselves down the road. But it's just, you know, I got too much going on to sit here and mess with this thing, so it's kind of just sitting here. If you don't know what happened to the car, as you can tell, the whole frame in here, it's kind of all messed up, and then back here is all smashed in. I didn't make really any videos on this because I felt bad, but the old lady had driven this at the track last year and lost traction. I think somebody leaked oil or coolant on the track because lost traction. It just went hard into the wall, swung it around. I got a video of it. I'm not going to post it up. I don't want to, show stuff like that. But, it's only got like 62,000 miles on it for 09. So this here, we were going to fix it this year. Back in December, we were going to pull it in the garage and start working on it. And then we're like, you know what? For what's going to cost to fix it, we can just buy a whole new car. We went and looked at a 2018 Coyote today, 6-speed. Might end up just buying that instead, and then just pull the 3-valve out and have for a spare motor for that if something happens. But we'll figure it out. But if you have any ideas on what we should do with this, comment. I thought about doing like a vet cart kind of thing, like on Roadkill, but again, I got 80 projects going on here, so wanted to kind of do something quick. But she wants her car back up for the summer, so this won't be quick. And we're gonna have a body shop fix it and try and get it done before spring came, but nobody wants to touch it, which is weird because they're all custom body shops that do custom work, and they take in anything. And I went there and showed them this, like, oh, we can't do that. And it's like, so you're not really a custom body shop that will take in anything. So there's that. The red V6 Mustang 2000 V6 automatic. This car's an automatic. Again, all these cars I have on the channel, go back in the videos and look at it if you want to get more information, walkthroughs, tours, what's done to them. I don't make a 25-30-minute video on these. I got to still get a GT rear bumper because that's my nice cutout job for now. I put a set of dual exhaust on this thing. I got to replace the rear bumper with the GT bumper, do a front bumper. I'm going to end up putting fog lights in this because I can. And then I want to get seats for it. The master cylinder in here is empty. I have no idea why, so I got to figure out why it's leaking brake fluid somewhere. I got to fix the exhaust again. If you want to see what's done to this V6, there's a lot done to this car, suspension, motor, all this shit's done to it. Check out all the different V6 Mustang videos I have on this car. There's a lot of them. But I put long tube headers on here, off-road H-pipe, off-road X-pipe, and then a catback a couple years ago. And the headers are pace setter headers, absolute trash. They don't fit right. I had to take them off a few times and try and bash the sides and to make them not rub on the fender or on the frame. Somewhere it's still rubbing and the whole car vibrates and shakes horribly. It's just stupidly annoying. So come spring, I want to take the whole exhaust system back off. Well, probably not the rear pipes, or the catback. Probably just the long tubes and the mid pipe, and then just get shorty headers and an off-road X to put on here because the long tubes on these cars, or at least on this one, annoying as hell. So this car is almost done though. This project, I really want to just complete and then it's done. I'm not doing anything else to it. All I got to do to it is front and rear bumpers, fix the exhaust, do the seats, fix the brakes, and then I want to get an aluminum drive shaft for it, and I'm done. I bought this just to be a driver, and then it was in too nice a condition to drive in the winter, and it was in not good enough condition to put tons of money into it. All in all, I think in this car, with everything all said and done, I think I'm probably around like $4,000, if that. I paid $900 for the car and did everything to it. Like, it's got everything on here's new, basically. I I love this car. It's a great driver. Everybody hates on it for being a V6 automatic. Again, I bought it for $900 with the intention just to drive it. Interior is mint except for the seats and the carpet. So if anybody's watching this and you're close to Wisconsin and you have a nice set of seats, I would prefer the nice leather IUP seats that come in a Terminator or the Mach 1s. Let me know if you want to sell them for a reasonable price. I'm not going to spend $1,500 for a set of seats. But this seat here is just absolute trash. I mean, it's garbage. The whole thing is actually broken where when you lean in, it leans way back. So that's a big thing I want to fix. This here, 02 GT I bought back in June or July. Again, for more information, watch the old videos on this thing. Did a lot of work to it already. This thing needs a motor yet. Plan for this car for now is the motor that's in the blue car, the Crown Vic motor. I have stuff at a machine shop right now getting done for a motor build for the blue car. So this block and rotating assembly will be coming out. Going to the machine shop, having the whole thing, you know, machined, everything like that, cleaned up. And then I'm going to use this block with the heads I have, build a motor, drop it into the 2000 GT right there, take that good Crown Vic motor that runs just fine, and drop it in here. This car will then run and drive. I have to do front and rear pads, rotors, calipers, which I really don't need to do front pads and rotors. I have the old ones off the blue car on here that are about 50-40%. I might leave them. It's got new tires all the way around. I got rear pads. I got to do calipers and rotors in the back still. And then I got to get a front bumper cover. This one's all just faded and crappy looking. And this fender here is all faded. So I want to get either new ones or have these painted really nice. I got to get every Mustang I have needs a new cowl. They all broke. So I'm going to buy all new cowls for every one of these cars too. Obviously there's rust in the wheel wells, so I plan to have this all fixed, clean the car up. I really don't like these stripes, so I'm going to try and get these off. If I can't, I might just put new ones over it. Only concern I have is I do that and it's uneven in spots. You know, it's going to look kind of shitty, but this car is a premium. Has Mach 460 in it. This did have leather seats. I took them out and put them in that car and put those seats in here. And I'll be honest with you, these seats are way better than the ones I took out of here. I wish I had left these seats in that car. I didn't, whatever. This car here, those came a long way. I did, well, you can't see this camera because it sucks, but I cleaned this car up really nice. And for some reason, for 02, it still has the 03 only net up there. Again, if you want to see more of this video or more of this car, go on my channel. Had an injector issue. I did run and drive it, but this one originally had a bad engine. So what I have done headlights to it, and I have done, that was off on Mach 1. And I've done taillights to make it look better. I want to get a third LED brake light for it. I'm also going to get a cat back for this thing because, you know, stock exhaust kind of sucks. But this one here, I also got to get these things replaced and then get one of these because, you know, all these cars are like that. Other than that, though, the car really is not in bad shape. Underneath it is not that rusty. It's got surface rust underneath it, 180-something thousand miles on it for 02. Wheel wells are trashed, so I want to get those all fixed up nice. There is dents on it everywhere, but I picked it up for a pretty cheap price. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. I've fallen in love with this car. I honestly cannot wait to get back to working on it. Originally, I had pulled it up here and built this half-assed workbench so I could continue on it and get it done, and then I had $500 projects going on. So eventually you will see more of this car. Hopefully I'll have this done, I'm hoping by summer, like by June, to have all these cars like motor swapped out, tires done, this, that, and the other thing. I've also had these rims sandblasted and then repainted because they're kind of in shoddy condition. But like I said, I got new tires on them. I would like to put 315s on here, but you know, I'm not going to buy new tires when these ones are like new. Then we got the 2000 GT. Again, check out previous videos on this car. This thing has gotten tons. This is almost a full restoration. When I got this car, it basically was this car. Had a blown engine. I got it running. Had a crack in the number one cylinder wall. Just completely screwed. And the rims on here, so I actually had the snow tires that were on my blue 5-speed V6 in the garage on this, just to have tires to get to my apartment or to my new house. I ended up getting the motor from the Crown Vic put in here and running and driving. Where I'm at with it right now is I have stage 4 comp cams, intake. I have all the engine parts I need to rebuild an engine. Short blocks coming out of this car, going off to the machine shop. I have my heads at the machine shop now. Once I get it all back, I'm going to assemble the whole engine. I got to pull the motor out of this, and the frame rails have some rust spots I want to cut out and weld in new metal to fix the frame in the front. I'm going to drop in the built motor in here. I'm going to put in a aluminum flywheel and a better clutch, because the ones in here are just some Rock Auto cheapy specials to get to run and drive. It's going to get, you know, it's going to be a full NA built 2-valve. However, it's going to end up getting a power adder down the road. So 10-to-1 compression is all I'm going to run it at. I just want it to be a nice street car to have fun with. The Mach 1 is going to be a completely different animal eventually. I've done headlights on this, a whole bunch of work. And again, if you have any nice seats, these seats are trash. These were in the gray car. They looked nicer. But this is all messed up. The bolsters are just weak. This car too needs a door pull like all of them do. I got to get the shift ball back off of the other car to put back in here. Overall, it's in pretty nice shape. Not all rusted out. All these cars are super dirty because the water that comes into the vents go on here, so ignore the dust and shit like that. But then the wheels and tires, so these are OEM Terminator wheels. That's the other two, okay? Those are the American Muscle replica wheels. So these are a 17 by 10.5. These are 17 by 9s. The original plan was to put this set onto this car with new tires, and I was going to buy two 17 by 9s to put up the front, have matching wheels and tires. If you've been online, these are all on back order forever. I got lucky. I was able to find one 17 by 9 polished. I bought it. Then I found one 17 by 10.5 polished. I bought that too. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have, if I can find one more 17 by 10.5 polished wheel, I'm going to buy it, throw two drag radials on those, and have that as a set for a Mach 1 and for this car that will match the rims. And I can use that for the street racing or drag racing or whatever I want to do with them. And then the other 10.5s, or well, these 10.5s, and then these 17 by 9s just have nice street tires to drive down the street on. So they're both going to have Terminator wheels on them with new tires. This one will probably just have 17 by 9s, and this will have 17 by 10.5s in the back and the 9s in the front. If I can get those two more wheels. So I'm looking at a lot of money here because obviously tires are stupidly expensive, and you know, I got tons of stuff going on right now. But this car here is going to end up, I'm hoping to make about 350 at the wheels, which I know is not good at all. Everybody's like, oh, that's shit power, and it is. I agree. But it's got 430 gears in it, and like I say, I just wanted to make a fun street car for the summer because I couldn't get this thing done. So this is going to get, just to finalize what this is going to be getting. I got to buy a cat back for this because this exhaust sucks. So I'm going to end up doing the built motor. I'm going to buy long tube headers for it, off-road X, which I already have. I want to get a nice cat back for it. It's going to get the tires, the rims. I got to fix the frame in the front. I got to fix the trunk floor. Has some rust areas I want to cut out, and then put some nice, what's that shit called? Like that insulation crap to that noise barrier in the back. And then I want to find seats for it also if I can. every one of these cars needs seat belts because like they all get. This one here, I actually found, I got one new seat belt for the passenger side for this to where I can fix that seat belt. But this car is almost done. I also got to put front control arms on it. I have one. I got to buy the driver's side one. I also got to do tie rods on it yet, then alignment. But it's pretty close. And I plan to drive this most of the summer. I plan to drive the red car as a daily. This for when I want to go and just kind of have some fun with it. And then the gray car when I get it done, just have for like a cruiser. Now to the Mach 1. So if you guys watch this channel, you know that it's got, the motor in here is pretty bad. It does run and drive. It still gets up and goes. But it's got low power. Honestly, the 2 valves will beat this. This car is a full bolt-on 410 gear car. I got a lot of money in this car. I've done a lot of work to it. 160,000 miles on it. I wanted to build the 4 valve in here this year. Instead of doing this, I wanted to build this because this engine in here is fine. It's just not fast. Well, camshafts alone for these cars off American Muscle and LMR and all that stuff went from being like $1,261. Now they're up to like $1,561. And my thing is like, I don't really care if I cam it or not because I plan to go either single or twin turbos on this. I'll make this a legitimate, 800 horsepower race car. The problem is I'm not going to rebuild this engine and then cheap out and not do camshafts and have 19-year-old 160,000 mile camshafts in here and then I snap one in half or flatten a lobe or something. So I'm always about doing the job right the first time. But just to rebuild the engine, just to handle boost for rods, pistons, cams, all that shit, you're talking a $6,000-$7,000 rebuild. Plus you got to buy the turbo kit, fuel system, tuning, all our stuff. You're talking $10,000 easy. So I'm kind of at a standstill with this car for right now of what I want to do. I got the 390 sitting in my garage. And I was going to, I found a place that does make K-members and motor mounts for an FE engine for a Mustang. I was going to put that in the gray car and build that into a kind of Frankenstein drag car. But I got thinking, the 390 deck height is so high, you need to have a cowl hood or a taller hood. And coincidentally, Mach 1 hood steps up here, here, and then to the shaker. And my thought was the 69 and 70 Mustangs that had 390s had shakers. So I can buy a shaker for one of those, put on top of the motor, and you would never know it's not a 4 valve in here. And I've already got the motor. It was rebuilt 30 years ago. It's got cam, intake, all that shit like that on it. So I just got to take it all apart, freshen it up, probably throw a different cam because it's for a truck, couple other things to it, and I could have, a 500 horsepower 390, which isn't what I want, but it'd be cheap. And it'd be a lot easier to get done than spend $10,000 to a 4 valve for right now until I can afford to do it. And then I got, kind of a mix and match of engines I can switch out for different cars and get that done. So right now, all I really have to do to this, I'm going to do is a cowl. And then I want to have my seat fixed because the bolster on here has been ripped since I bought it. But I want to fix this. And then I have that seatbelt filler side, the tires and wheels on here, and then I want to do rear control arms on here, which also this car needs too. They're both getting rear control arms. I have some cheap, shitty Amazons on here, and they're trash, absolute garbage. So I'm gonna take those back out and get some nice BBK ones or something good to put on these. And it needs tie rods in the front also and control arms, but I'm going to wait to do the control arms on here just because if I go to a different K-member for a 390, I'm going to get tubular control arms, so I'm going to hold off on that. They're not bad enough. Like these ones are destroyed, so. But that's kind of where I'm at with these. Now, I really. Oh, I've also got to fix the spider gears in the rear end on this too. Forgot all the hard launches I've done. Actually, I've cracked and broken some teeth in the spider gears in the rear end on there. So I got to get back in there and fix all that too. And get that done. But this car is almost basically done the way I want it to be done. The motor is the biggest thing. And I have thought about taking the built 2-valve I'm going to get and putting it in here at least for the summer, because the rest of this car is done. And it would still be faster than the 4-valve in here now, you know, because this thing 4 years ago or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, only made 300 horse at the wheels. And I'm sure now it's a lot less. I could not even brake in the 14s at Union Grove 2 years ago. It was so slow. It just smoking out the tailpipes like crazy, just a dog. It would not accelerate for me. When I did a compression check on the motor, I had 2 cylinders at 134, 132 PSI. I had 4 that were at 150, and I had 2 that were about 156. So the motor is just worn out. Burns oil like crazy. I mean, I go through freaking 5-6 quarts of oil in 3,000 miles. It's crazy. It's nuts. It burns it fast. Plus, it coats the inside of the exhaust, so at least it won't rust. But you know, I thought about putting the 2-valve from, you know, built 2-valve into this, and at least having a, you know, somewhat quick Mach 1 again, where it'll at least get up and go. But then it's like, you know, I don't want to do, you know, musical chair motors everywhere and whatnot. And so that's kind of what's going on with this. Sorry for the long video, but kind of just a long update. So, you know, we'll get back to this. And then I'll go in my garage for the last 2 cars, because if you know my channel, you know I've got just tons of vehicles. Gotta grab my opener. So, I'll close all this up. Also, if you like the video, which I hope you do, like it, and if you're thinking of subscribing, I'd appreciate that. You know, you don't have to, but if you did, it'd be cool. So think about it. Any comments about the vehicles, or any ideas for them, or any questions about what, you know, if you have one of these vehicles and you have questions about it, comment down below. If I can help you out, I will. If I can't, I'm sure I know somebody who can. Okay, so this is the 99 V6.5 speed I got. Needs a cowl as well. This car, these were the wheels and tires I had on my blue 2-valve outside. I bought these for like 200 something bucks last summer to put on my blue 2-valve out there to get to my new house. This thing is rusted out, high miles. It's just a driver. You can see it's all rusted out everywhere. This was my first Mustang I ever had. When I got the Mach 1, I sold it to, at the time, a friend of mine. Since then, though, he gave it back to me, and we're no longer friends. Had a falling out, but he gave it back to me to try and make a peace offering. I ended up fixing a bunch of stuff on this to be able to run and drive it. Oh, shit. But only thing I'm doing to this is the seats in here are trash too. But the car is so rusty. You can see the doors aren't even closed tight. You know, I had tried to fix this. You can tell from the paint over there. When I first had it, like I'd say about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It's so far gone, there's no point in trying to fix it. My only plan for it, all I gotta do to it, it needs rear pads, rotors, calipers, and that's all it needs. And that's all I'm gonna do to it. I'm not gonna put any more money into it. You know, I might buy a eBay cowl for 30 bucks and put on here. We'll see. I mean, the paint is all chipped to hell. I cannot hold my garage door opener for the life of me. But yeah, you know, the paint's all checked and the bumper's all mangled and whatnot. And so, yeah, you can see right there too, it pulled out. So I'm really not going to fix this. And then the Ford Edge. This is my 08 Ford Edge that I have had since 2013. Great vehicle. 211,000 miles on it. We're the second owner. As you can tell, got some rust right there. And then all the way, well, that's all painted with that rust paint, but you know, she's rusty. And Right there is all rusted out. This thing here, the PTU went out, which is a power transfer unit, went out on this back last March. And we decided not to fix it because we were looking at buying a house. So we're like, you know what? It had 204,000 miles on it. We're like, we're not going to fix it. So it sat until back in November. We did not have anything to drive in the snow. So I spent a little over $1,100 for a PTU, front pads, rotors, the hardware kit, slide pins, tranny fluid, coolant, all the coolant hoses, oil change, right lower control arm, grease, and then all the exhaust gaskets, new bolts, studs, all stuff like that. And I revived it, and we went from 204,000. Now we're at 211,000 on it. So far, knock on wood, no problems. Has newer tires from 2 years ago. We're not going to fix anything on it because, you know, there's no point. But I did wiper blades on it too. That's what it was. You know, but she's old, high miles. But she runs and drives good. Rustier than all hell. When this control arm snapped, it pulled the whole wheel out and kind of messed all this up. And then, did all this damage to it. So these two are kind of just like daily drivers. And, little stuff we're going to do to them to keep them going. But if the transmission dies in it, we're not going to fix that. If the clutch goes out, well, I got a spare clutch, so I'd probably put it in here. But if it was like the motor has a blown head gasket or something, we're not going to put money into these things at all. So these really aren't project vehicles, but they're still in the fleet, so I figured I'd talk about them. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here. Again, if you have any questions about any of these vehicles, comment, let me know down below. If you like them, let me know. If you want to see every one of these vehicles is on the channel, you'll have to go through all the videos for the last couple of years. I got how-tos on how to fix stuff on all of them. The Yukon's got some videos. This has tons of videos. So check those out, and hopefully like those videos too. Other than that, I'm going to go to bed. It's late, and I'm tired. So you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and we'll talk to you later.